CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Monday, March 2nd. One person is charged and another injured after a stabbing Friday afternoon in Kearney, north of Huntsville. Provincial police were called to a residence on Park Road after a report of a person in medical distress. The individual was taken to hospital with injuries consistent with a stabbing. A 22-year-old from Kearney is charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault. Police in Sudbury have laid charges in connection with that fatal hit-and-run collision last Friday in Sudbury. A 55-year-old Sudbury man is charged with failure to stop after an accident causing death. A 46-year-old woman died after she was struck Friday morning on Paris Street. Sudbury police say the driver was identified after investigators reviewed CCTV footage and used automated license plate recognition technology. Well, a judge will decide next month whether to accept a proposed settlement of a class action lawsuit connected to the 2012 roof collapse of the Algo Centre Mall in Elliott Lake. The collapse killed 2 women and led to a provincial inquiry which found problems with the roof were covered up by the engineer hired to do inspections. A class action lawsuit was certified in 2014 and sought $30 million in damages for those affected by the disaster, with dozens of businesses and more than 300 people taking part. The legal team that filed the suit says a proposed settlement has been reached for $10 million, although $2.5 million would go toward lawyers and $700,000 for administrative expenses. The hearing is set for April 10th. Shifting gears now to the weather, and it was another cold morning. How long will these temperatures last? For more details, we bring in CTV's Rick Wyman. Welcome back, Rick.
Thanks, Tony. Ricky is back with some milder temperatures, and a lot of people mentioning over the past couple of days, what about the warmer weather? Well, Tony, it's coming. I've got living proof. 5-day forecast. You'll have to stick around our systems map. Not all that bad. It's brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. So we've got some milder temperatures, and in some cases, we're not going to see any minus temperatures around in some areas, depending where you live. Beneficial to maybe Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, North Bay, Timmins, Temiskaming Shores. Not as fortunate. We'll get to that, but it's not all that bad. We've got the chance of showers in the forecast, the chance of flurries, and a lot more. Tony, great to be back. And again, we'll have the 5-day forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. Staff and faculty unions at Laurentian University are calling on the Board of Governors to rescind a motion that increases the salary of the president and provost. CTV's Lindsay Alick has that story.
It was a special meeting last October when the motion was approved, but it was only made public just before the February 27th Laurentian University Board of Governors meeting, when minutes from that meeting last fall were adopted.
Bylaws state that the minutes should have come to the next meeting, which was October 17th, the day after. Now, I think most people would recognize that's a real short turnaround, but it certainly should have come on the minute meetings 2 months later. And that's where I think a lot of people are questioning why it wasn't there.
LUFA was in negotiations with the employer at that time. Is that the explanation? We hope it's not, but we need to know again, because it's quite unusual.
In a statement to CTV News, Jay Barbeau, chair of the board, says in part, a process to adjust compensation for these 2 executive roles began years ago and predates both the appointment of the 2 incumbents and the LUFA contract negotiations. The salary adjustments bring Laurentian closer to similar roles at peer institutions of comparable size and location. The minutes show President Lynn Wells will see an increase to $318,365 annually, while Provost Malcolm Campbell will see an increase to $252,210.
What should happen now is the board rescind that motion and bring a new motion forward, following obviously proper bylaws, and that they align the increases for our senior leaders with the staff and faculty and what we've received. I mean, this would be fair and equitable, and I honestly think it sends a strong message that if we're all in it together, then let's all be in it together.
In 2024, the staff union negotiated a 12% increase over 3 years, while LUFA members will see a 4.25% increase over the next 3 years, following a 3-week strike earlier this year. The next Board of Governors meeting is set for April 24th. Both Fensky and Collins say they hope to get more answers at that time. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Meanwhile, Laurentian is getting a large contribution from a mining company and its workers' union to honor the late Leo Gerard. Vale Base Metals and United Steelworkers Local 6500 pledged $450,000 to the university. The funding is to support the creation of the Dr. Leo Gerard Research Chair in Occupational Safety and Health. The focus will be on the application to mining. March is Fraud Prevention Month, and police in North Bay and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre are raising awareness about fraud. And as CTV's Eric Tashner tells us, crimes are evolving with new technologies and AI.
Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, how may I help you?
While fraud can begin with a single phone call, email, or online message, investigations show that many scams are part of larger criminal networks that rely on digital platforms, anonymity, and speed to reach victims.
It's one of the only types of crime that comes right into our residence from all over the world. Right? So there's no broken windows or there's no visible crime scene.
Last year, fraud losses in Canada exceeded $700 million. The crime also remains underreported, with only about 5 to 10% of incidents called into police.
And they prey on urgency. Oftentimes, victims think that a family member's name was used when in fact it really wasn't.
Fraud is often described as a hidden crime, one that does not leave visible damage, but a lasting financial impact on victims. Scammers are also tapping into artificial intelligence. A new poll suggests a majority of Canadians are finding it harder to know if an ad is real or if it's a scam, and that AI is making it harder to differentiate between the two.
We're seeing it being used with deepfakes on social media or, advertisements online, where it might be a trusted political figure or maybe a news anchor promoting a cryptocurrency platform.
The Anti-Fraud Centre and police encourage people to be wary of unexpected or urgent requests for money, take time to verify before sending funds or sharing details, and discuss fraud with vulnerable family members or seniors.
The people that are vulnerable within our community that fall prey to a lot of these things, and I think those are the people that aren't necessarily getting the message.
Anyone who believes they have been targeted by fraud is encouraged to contact their local police service and report the incident to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
The Kidd Mine and Met Site properties in Timmins will have a new owner. Discovery Silver Corporation says it will buy Glencore's operations, which are slated to close at the end of the year. Discovery Silver says acquiring the Kidd operations provides an opportunity to grow the company. It says the Kidd operations come with valuable infrastructure like a power supply, access to water, a highly skilled workforce, and a chance to increase processing capacity.
We've learned that you can gain a lot of success if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and go in and do the work at these mines and really harvest the value that's still there. And we when I say we're committed to the Timmins camp, there's just tremendous potential there. I mean, we've got roughly 60 million ounces in resource today, but there's a reason why we've got 20 drill rigs turning, because we think at the end of the day that there's millions and millions of more ounces to be found. And, we think that camp, the Timmins camp, is just going to keep on going.
Discovery Silver says it expects the acquisition to be finalized before summer. It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. First, though, we're off to Timmins and Gillies Lake. This live webcam is courtesy of that city. It's minus 5 degrees Celsius. We're back after this commercial break.
Pure Country 91.7 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
We've got some nicer weather coming up in the forecast, so seeing is believing, and it's time now for the 5-day forecast as expected and as promised. Here we go first with our forecast radar. You've got some flurry activity in the north, more so to the north Temiskaming Shores, Timmins, Moosonee, what have you, and maybe some rain to the south, but some milder temperatures as you are about to see. Seeing is believing. Mainly cloudy tomorrow, greater Sudbury at -1. How about 2 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday? Some sun and cloud both days. So we'll get some cloud, we'll get some sun. We'll get the chance of showers and the chance of flurries and some flurry activity. How about some cloud activity for Friday to kick off the weekend at 3? And again, 4 degrees, chance of showers at 60% come Saturday. Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma, chance of flurries tomorrow at 40%. 0 your expected high. 5 degrees, sun and cloud Wednesday. Cloud cover Thursday, Friday, 3 and 5. It sounds so nice without using the term minus for the temperature. I like it. Saturday, chance of showers, 40%, and a high of 3 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, flurries in the forecast for tomorrow, -3. Chance of flurries Wednesday at 60%. That's a pretty good bet at -6. -5 on Thursday, chance of flurries. Friday, some cloud and 3, and the chance of sleet. Okay, it's 50-50, rain or snow for Saturday, and a high of +1, that fluctuation in temperature. So again, we've gone from pretty cold temperatures to milder weather this week for the first full week of March, and I like that. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of flurries tomorrow at 0, -1. Wednesday, chance of flurries. Thursday, Friday, cloud cover 1 and 3. 4 degrees on Saturday. Here we go with the rain. In some areas, it's more flurry activity. 60% chance of showers for Saturday. And at North Bay, West Nipissing, clouding over tomorrow, +1. Your expected high. 4 degrees on Wednesday, some sun and cloud. Cloud cover for a couple of days. Thursday and Friday, 3 and 5. All the way to 7 by Saturday with the chance of showers. We haven't seen 7 degrees in a long time in Northeastern Ontario. I'll take it for North Bay, West Nipissing. Chance of showers, 7 degrees. So, Tony, while I never promised you a rose garden, the roses will have to wait till at least May, hopefully, but some different type of conditions coming up. Rain, flurries, milder temperatures, and we've been expecting that. And don't forget the time change on Saturday as we actually spring ahead. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. The Ontario government is touting what it says is a plan to accelerate the economic growth of the province's northern regions.
We want to accelerate the roads up there because it doesn't just bring mining, it brings opportunities for their young people, and that's what we want.
The plan involves completing construction on all-season roads leading to the Ring of Fire region in the province, with shovels in the ground this summer and roads open by 2030. Once completed, the province says the roads will connect First Nations communities with Ontario's highway network. About 12,000 customers in Northern Ontario are without power right now. Hydro One says a huge portion of Manitoulin Island and surrounding areas are experiencing an emergency power outage. It says crews are conducting critical work to repair and replace insulators at the Manitoulin transmission station. The outage is expected to last until 10 p.m. Many public works employees say threats and harassment are becoming more common, and now the city of Greater Sudbury is looking to address the issue. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
With an increase of harassment directed to municipal public works employees, the Association of the Ontario Road Supervisors is calling on the province to intervene.
You know, if you get yelled at or something like that, it's just part of the job of working for a municipality. But that's not the case. That shouldn't be part of the job. And so we're really trying to raise awareness that this behavior is uncalled for and that it is actually creating very unsafe workplaces where municipal public works employees don't feel safe to come to work.
Meanwhile, Sudbury City Councillor Deb McIntosh has a member's motion set to be heard at the next City Council meeting. The motion calls on the province to recognize municipal public workers as essential during emergencies and significant weather events.
We have written letters to the Minister of Labour as well as the Solicitor General requesting legislative changes to better protect municipal public employees. We've already seen municipalities, several municipalities across the province pass a similar motion that the City of Greater Sudbury is looking at. So it is becoming an issue that I think municipalities are recognizing that it is their responsibility responsibility to provide a safe workplace for their employees.
Elliott said this fear of unsafe working conditions could lead to unsafe communities. With many nearing retirement, this could prevent new employees from entering the field. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Hometown hero coming up on CTV News at 5. A gold and bronze medalist returns to Parry Sound to celebrate her great performance at the Olympic Winter Games. Fresh off a great showing in Italy, a Canadian gold and bronze Olympic medalist was officially welcomed back by her hometown of Parry Sound this weekend. CTV's Mike Lang has more.
Saturday was Megan Oldham Day in Parry Sound.
Please give a big welcome to our Olympic champion, Megan Oldham.
The Stocky Centre filled with family, friends, and community members to celebrate the hardware around the 24-year-old's neck.
To finally come home and see everything you guys have done, it's honestly it's blown my mind. I'm driving through town and I see Canada flags and I see my face on windows and I see, like little signs on the lawn.
Over the last 2 weeks, Oldham soared her way to gold in the women's big air after she had skied her way to bronze in slopestyle.
Megan has spent the last 4 years learning bigger tricks so that her best was the best.
In Saturday's ceremony, her father Howard's remarks highlighted her fearlessness, toughness, and mental fortitude, allowing her to be the best on the world stage.
Megan's had 2 knee surgeries already. She's been hospitalized, and the determination and the grit to get through those setbacks is what sticks with me.
Mayor Jamie McCarvey discussing what her accomplishments mean to Parry Sound.
Every so often somebody comes along and they'll spark that sort of pride or whatever that communities need every once in a while, and it just really gives that boost.
MP Scott Aitchison watched Oldham's golden performance in person.
She's just a hardworking, down-to-earth, amazing person, and to me, she's like makes Canada so proud.
The ceremony was followed by an autograph session where Oldham met some of her biggest fans.
Somebody comes from Parry Sound to do all that stuff. The Olympic there, it's so awesome.
And then a downtown party on James Street.
It's been so special. I've received, like I said, so much support, and it's obviously a bit overwhelming at first, but like a great sense of overwhelming just because it's really cool to see how happy and excited everyone is.
Megan's brothers Bruce and Cody are also competitive skiers, and the hope is for all three to compete together on the world stage in 2030. Mike Lang, CTV News.
A big weekend for the North Bay Battalion in the OHL as they move to within 1 point of 4th place Peterborough in the Eastern Conference standings. North Bay picked up the first of 2 wins Friday in Sudbury with a 6-3 verdict over the Wolves. Meanwhile, Kingston upset host Sault Ste. Marie 6-3 Friday night. And Sunday on home ice, the Battalion shut out the Niagara Ice Dogs 5-0, while the Sudbury Wolves struck for 2 goals late in the 3rd period to post a 5-3 victory over Kingston. Over in the NOJHL, a huge upset in Timmins at the MAC as the hometown Rock beat Sudbury 6-2. It's the first loss in regulation time for the Cubs over 27 games since last November. Timmins and Hearst are now tied for 2nd place, 9 points back of Sudbury. The Powassan Voodoos are 4th, 2 back of Timmins and Hearst after a 6-0 win over Iroquois Falls. And the Sioux Thunderbirds scored an 11-3 decision in Blind River. Pure Country Catch-Up. When we return, we see what Josh and Coop are up to. You're watching First at 5.
It's Josh and Coop from Pure Country Mornings in Sudbury. You know, we're coming off of a busy weekend in Sudbury. There was so much happening. The coldest night of the year fundraising walk had happened. A huge success in Sudbury thanks to all those who donated, those who took part, which was amazing. Now we look ahead to this coming weekend. And again, it is another busy one. The annual Polar Plunge is set to go on Saturday.
Yeah, hosted by Greater Sudbury Police. This is all in support of Special Olympics Ontario. Lots of people going to be taking the plunge into the cold waters of Ramsey Lake, all with a good cause. But Coop, there's so many other aspects to the Polar Plunge to note as well. Things like fundraising prizes. You got prizes for the best costume, right, amongst people who are taking the plunge, but also what's called the 2 chicken to plunge.
Which is great. It's basically like a 50-50. So if there's those who can't take the jump in, or they don't want to, but they still want to support the cause, this might be for you. So registration starts at 9 on Saturday morning. The actual jumping starts around noon. Josh and I will be there doing some hosting, the rest of the Pure Country crew as well. This event is proudly supported by Pure Country 91.7 in Sudbury. Freezing for a reason, as they say. It is a fantastic cause. It's going to be a lot of fun this Saturday.
And yes, we will be jumping as well. Catch it this Saturday. It's all going down Ramsey Lake right here in Sudbury for Sudbury's edition of the Polar Plunge. But what's cool, Coop, is there are polar plunges happening all throughout Ontario to support this awesome cause. We would love to see you out and supporting it. Get those details by listening on the air, 91.7 on the dial, or listen completely free on the iHeartRadio app.
Our first community close-up is from Sault Ste. Marie. Is March too cold to garden? Officials at the main branch of the Public Library in Clean North don't think so. On Saturday from 10:30 a.m. until 12 noon, participants will sow a container with a native species to take home. The event is free, but you have to register. We're now heading east of Sault Ste. Marie to the community of Echo Bay. Terry Lynn sent us this picture of 3 pups, Rufus, Winston, and Poppy, enjoying a snowy day. Great shot. Thanks so much, Terry Lynn. We are now going west of Englehart to Charlton. Brad and Carmen Thomas sent us this photograph of their dog, Sacco, who got excited last fall with the Blue Jays run in the World Series. It's spring training, and her owners say the girl is waiting to be called up. Doesn't she look the part? Thanks so much, Brad and Carmen. If you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And finally, Brian Adams will be stopping in 2 Northern Ontario cities this summer. The Canadian rocker has added some new dates to his role with the Punch's cross-country tour. He'll play at the Sudbury Community Arena August 31st and GFL Memorial Gardens in Sault Ste. Marie September 1st. His special guest on the tour is the Timmins-born musician known as Lights. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.